Hi guys, welcome to Wolf Warriors Morning Motivation Meditation. I'm your host, Benjamin Duvenek, and today we're talking about communication. I want to encourage you that we're always going to have essentially something to be encouraged by, and then ultimately, hopefully, a takeaway that you can take action on, okay? So that's the whole purpose of this, and today is Monday, so I hope you're feeling excited, feeling thankful. You know, this is Thanksgiving week, so make sure to keep that in mind and be thankful every day. In fact, I encourage you to take on the Wolf Warrior Challenge, Thanksgiving Challenge, that is, and to just for the next 7 days, wake up every single day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. And I encourage you to continue to do it because if you do it for up to 21 days, you actually change the chemistry of your brain. So it's pretty cool. I encourage you to do it, really powerful, and it will change your spirit. So really good. So communication is key. So what do I mean by this? We all have heard that before. I want to be very specific, okay? Communication is at the all right, I'll just say this. You got to communicate a couple things. So, and the real things that you want to communicate are, your needs, your desires, and to understand that, the only way that we really understand our needs and desires are understanding our deficits. So this is what makes it so important to be able to understand who you really are, okay? So you got to get founded in God, okay? Number one, if you're not a Christian, you're not a Christ follower, you're not a follower of the way, okay? If you're way out there, if you're not a follower of the way, then you need to be, because then ultimately you're going to be on the right path, okay? So getting in the right relationship, ultimately, understanding who God is obviously is number one, but encountering your deficits, okay? Countering your deficits means always, consistently healing, moving forward, focusing on the plank in your own eye and not focusing on the speck in your brother's eye. Okay? Focusing on that plank while you go, okay? Continuously just to continue to flow and be healed, continues to focus on, on those things will ultimately allow you to share with others and communicate, because the second step to that is understanding, okay, where am I deficient? Where am I deficient? What do I need prayer for, maybe? How can I ask for prayer? Would you pray for me on this? Would you pray for me about this? Et cetera, et cetera. Makes sense? So you got to know what to pray for, okay? And you understand that by encountering your deficits. And you encounter your deficits through understanding who you are and who you're created to be. And you can do this. We do this with Wolf Warriors very quickly by doing step number 1, and that's getting grounded in spirit and truth, and holistically speaking, in life. So when we do that, we encounter what are our deficits. Now we know what to pray for, okay? And then we can talk about our vision and what God has given to us, and then we can talk even more about what to pray for. The joy set before us, and it gets really exciting. So communication is key. And then it comes even into relationships, which we also work on here, obviously, together, but in your life. Think about it. Now you want to talk to other people. You want to share this stuff with other people. That's where intimacy comes into play. Intimacy and transparency and how you ultimately develop strong relationships. That's another story. But communication, you have to know what to communicate. This is how you know what to communicate, okay? I strongly urge you to get clear on these things. So start, if you aren't even really feeling like you're engaged and immersed in the journey of your identity, do it today. Start today. Don't wait. And all it takes, and if you need some support, we're here for that exact that very thing. So that way it's easy, simple. It's not going to take you forever, and you can comprehend it, opposed to it being just like this abstract thing. Like, what do I do? Okay, I'm off work now, and obviously it's another stressful day, and I'm trying to figure stuff out. Like, what am I trying to figure out? Like, okay, asking God these huge questions, and then hopefully I hear, when all day long I'm not really, I'm just doing the everyday routine. So your mind, there's just a sensitivity, that you got to develop, and it's a muscle that you use. It's in terms of faith and listening to God and hearing from Him, and walking in the Spirit. Like all of those things are muscles, and it takes it's time under tension, right? Just like building muscles, it's time under tension. But it doesn't. But let's just pretend you did like something like I did, where you quit your job. I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here, but I feel like it's relevant. So you quit your job, and you you quit your job and you just did nothing but listen to God all day long. Like, just listen to God and feel like you're doing what he said. So that's what I did when I was homeless by choice when I was 22. So not everybody has in their minds this opportunity or really feels called to do that. But at the end of the day, it's time under tension. I got a lot of time under tension. I was driving in. Okay. Can you see how that would make sense and how I would get like just a lot of strength in that way and hearing from God? Makes sense, right? So, connect better to others, family and friends in the body who can speak to those needs and desires and fill you up. The trick is knowing what they are, and they aren't discovered inside your comfort zone. So, comfort zone. It's very difficult if things aren't systematic and you don't feel like you have a sense of control over this discomfort, that you're not going to ultimately engage very much in it. So that's why we make a very safe place, not only in our community, but also with the process. It's a safe process that you can kind of holistically understand, where are we going? How does this work? What's God's desired outcome? And then ultimately, how do I do it? Does that make sense? So that's what that process is all about. So hopefully that makes sense. And so if you're in need of that kind of support, just let us know and we'll help. But at the end of the day, the whole point of this is communication. Communication is so important. You got to understand your deficits. So point number one, communication is key. Point number two, understand your deficits by understanding your identity. And so that's kind of 2 and 3. But then the fourth point is excuse me, my nose itches. I had some hot sauce. So anyway, point number 4 is to take action and ultimately share those things. So ultimately discern what those needs are, those desires are, those deficiencies are, and share those with your close friends, your intimate partners, your faith family, okay? And share these things so that they can meet these needs, okay? Share expectations. I mean, communication is a lot about sharing expectations too. I just had to sit down recently with a friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine, and we had this, define the relationship talk, and it was really good. There's more to be had about that, but at the end of the day, it's stuff like that. Like, you've got to take action. You've got to take initiative when you're thinking these things. Keep communication lines open as much as possible to ultimately grow, to ultimately save yourself time, money, and energy, because of all the mistakes and challenges that come up as a result of being silent, okay? The enemy wants to keep you silent. He doesn't want you to walk, right? So God did a few things. He opened up the man's eyes to see. He doesn't want you to see. He doesn't want you to hear correctly. He doesn't want you to speak, okay? He wants to close your mouth, shut your ears, and blind your eyes, okay? And then he also wants to cripple you so you don't walk, so you don't actually do anything about it. Okay, so we got a lot just piled into this idea of called communication today, but I hope that it makes sense, and I hope that you've taken the action today to really hone in on communication, okay? God bless you guys. Have a beautiful day. You're awesome. Stay smart, stay wise, keep it moving forward, keep healing, and keep driving in to the plan that God has for your life. God bless you.